Right now at 5, violence continues in and around some of Mexico's popular tourist destinations after a military operation leads to the death of a cartel leader. An apartment building in Arlington goes up in flames, destroying several units and leaving dozens of people displaced. And $1 billion price tag for Dallas City Hall. Now leaders are asking whether it's worth it to fix it, leave it, or tear it all down. The heated debate that'll be unfolding coming up next. But we want to start with some breaking news and new fallout from the deadly floods on the 4th of July. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick released a letter in the past hour saying he's asked a state agency not to issue Camp Mystic a camping license this year. 25 little girls and 2 counselors at the family-owned camp were killed when torrential rain turned the Guadalupe River into a wall of water. More than half the buildings at Camp Mystic sat in a 100-year floodplain. In a letter to the Department of State Health Services, Lieutenant Governor Patrick says, quote, "Until these deaths are investigated and any necessary corrective actions are taken to ensure this never happens again, a camp license should not be issued to Camp Mystic." And he pointed to an investigative committee that plans to meet this spring. We'll have a lot more on this new development coming up later tonight at 6. This afternoon, we just got an update from the Dallas PD about an officer-involved shooting. This happened Friday near Shaw Street and Sylvan Avenue as several agencies served a search warrant at someone's home. DPD just released body cam video from that shooting. Deputy Liu has been reviewing the footage and gives us an update on what she's learned.
Tonight, Dallas police showed us body cam video from the SWAT officers who were on the scene of this shooting. The most graphic parts of the video, they are blurred by Dallas police, but I do still want to warn you the sensitive nature of this content. They showed us the perspective of 3 SWAT officers. This was on Shaw Street in West Dallas. DPD SWAT was helping Louisville Police Department and the DEA serve a search warrant. The videos show officers approach the house when 2 dogs come running out, so they deploy flashbangs. Then as the officers head upstairs to the 2nd floor of a detached garage, a suspect named Matthew Leha is seen opening the door. In the body cam, he has a firearm in his right hand pointed toward the officers. That's when Senior Corporal Wells, who's been with DPD for 11 years, fires his weapon. According to Dallas Police Chief Como, the SWAT doctor attempts to save the suspect's life. Leha is pronounced dead on the scene, and police tell us 2 babies were found inside unharmed. Drugs were also recovered from the property.
Variety. You had methamphetamine, you also had marijuana, and you had some pills that we believe are laced with fentanyl.
Most crime, and a lot of crime, doesn't necessarily stop at city limits. So even in the city of Louisville, when we encounter narcotic violations, sometimes they don't always just stay in the city of Louisville. Sometimes people come to Louisville or move through Louisville where they could encounter my team. And in this case, that was party to how that occurred.
And I asked Chief Como if Leha is a known drug dealer in the area, and he said yes. As for the officer involved in the shooting, he's been placed on administrative leave per protocol. In Dallas, let's send it back to you.
Several high-level soccer matches have been canceled this afternoon after Mexican Special Forces killed the head of its most powerful cartel. As ABC's Christian Cordero reports, the cartels have set multiple fires, blocked roads, and prevented tourists from leaving some cities.
Today, a violent raid in Mexico that killed one of the country's most notorious cartel leaders has millions of people on edge. Officials say Sunday's military operation killed multiple cartel members, including the head of the Jalisco New Generation cartel known as El Mencho. Mexico's visibly emotional defense minister today said more than 24 members of the military were also killed during the raid. The White House confirms it helped provide intelligence for Mexico, but that no American troops were on the ground. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum emphasizes the priority now is to provide peace and security. Security forces are patrolling in the air and on the streets. On Sunday, criminal groups set up hundreds of roadblocks, setting cars and buildings on fire.
You could see the fear in people's eyes. I mean, they were very, very, very concerned.
The violence reached popular tourist destinations, including Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara, as the U.S. Embassy urged Americans in Mexico to avoid all forms of travel.
We're all just under the shelter in place, told not to go anywhere, lock your doors, stay inside.
Sheinbaum says the roadblocks are now clear.
Puerto Vallarta's airport suspended all operations yesterday, leaving people, including American tourists, stranded. Flights there, including those to and from Guadalajara's airport, have resumed today.
Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Now, the cartel leader who was killed in Sunday's operation had ties to organized crime dating back 30 years, and the group's ties extended into North Texas. It hasn't even been 2 years since federal prosecutors in Dallas sentenced a dozen members of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. It was part of a major meth trafficking case in which the cartel stashed drugs inside buckets, which were then concealed inside a diesel truck and shipped over the border. A man who went by Taquito was sentenced to 40 years in prison for coordinating those shipments with cartel leaders. The violent retaliation has left a lot of Americans in limbo. Multiple airlines, as she mentioned, immediately canceled flights to Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta. Some people are still stranded there. Others are here in North Texas wanting to get into Mexico. Coming up tonight at 6, Kevin Reese looks into their options and how long travel could be impacted. This afternoon, authorities are investigating a major fire at an apartment complex in Arlington. Here's an aerial view from Chopper 8 as several departments work together to get it under control. No one was injured, but dozens of residents lost their homes. Brittany Costello has been reporting from the scene all afternoon. Brittany, what are you hearing right now?
Well, as you mentioned, no one was injured, but people have had to clear out of this very badly damaged apartment unit. Arlington Fire Department folks just cleared out. Fencing is going up around this damaged unit, but I want to scoot out of the way so you can see what we're looking at here. So you may have seen from Chopper, the entire building's pretty damaged, but there is one isolated area where you can see through the windows, essentially. Now, we talked to one man earlier today who said he had just gotten home right around 1:30, right as this fire started. Take a listen.
I was just walking into my apartment, and as I unlocked the door, a big blaze of smoke shot out in my face. And I turned around.
Sam Semi said he could not go inside. He says he did go door to door, alerting his neighbors to the fire while they called 911, but his apartment was destroyed. He lost everything he owned inside.
It's a big loss, but one thing about it, I'm still here. I could have been gone. All the materialistic stuff, we can get that back. So, I'm happy to be here.
The Arlington Fire Department says 16 units were damaged. 25 people were displaced. That's 19 adults, 5 children. Arlington police say they are still investigating the cause. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Brittany. Plano will discuss 2 major items at tonight's City Council meeting: the incentives for AT&T's relocation and the future of DART funding. Council members will consider giving AT&T a $20 million grant and tax breaks to support its move to Legacy Drive. It requires the company to invest more than $1.3 billion and create up to 10,000 jobs over the next 25 years. They'll also consider public transit funding for the first time since DART's board approved a major change to its funding structure. The new plan sends a portion of sales tax revenue back to member cities. But some critics say the agency is giving up too much without getting enough in return. That meeting gets underway at 7. Starting tonight, crews will close a major highway in Collin County overnight. Stacia's here to show us how it'll impact night shift workers and early risers.
That's right, Chris. Let's go ahead and take a look at our map. So this is affecting, again, northern portion of Collin County and Anna. You can expect all lanes of US 75 to shut down tonight at County Road 371 for some continuous road work that they're doing on that area as the population continues to grow in the northern portion of Collin County. This starts at 9 o'clock tonight, wraps up at 5 tomorrow morning. So be aware of that if you are typically traveling through there overnight. We also have a major backup along Central Expressway south of that location in the McKinney area. We're watching it from Virginia Parkway. So looking at those northbound lanes, traffic that's approaching US 75 at Virginia Parkway, 2 lanes are blocked as a result of an accident there, and that is causing, again, an extensive backup along Central that goes all the way to McKinney. Also, Loop 12 northbound at Trinity River. This still has not cleared. Not sure if I can show you a camera of that, but again, this has been going on for a while and it's been causing a slowdown there in Dallas. Once again, that location, Loop 12, there it is. Northbound at the Elm Fork portion of the Trinity River. You still have 1 lane blocked there. Chris?
Thanks, Stacia. Coming up next, council members facing a high-stakes decision in Dallas: spend up to $1 billion to save City Hall or walk away. Eli Lilly rolls out a new way to take a popular weight loss drug, what a monthly injection pen means for Zepbound patients paying out of pocket. And the Northeast is buried under a historic blizzard, canceling thousands of flights and leaving thousands of people without power. An update on the current conditions.
Well, and for all of you winter weather lovers that were wishing you had that, there it is. For us, though, 60 today. I'm talking 70s and 80s the rest of the week, and rain next week. My full forecast coming up.
And just a reminder, President Trump will deliver his State of the Union tomorrow. He's working to convince voters the economy is improving as Republicans head into the midterms with control of Congress at stake. You can watch it Tuesday at 8 p.m. right here on WFAA. The Dallas City Council is facing a $1 billion decision right now: make needed repairs to City Hall or walk away. Officials are about to present the findings for a new report, and Dallas City Hall reporter Cole Sullivan joins us live with a look at how it's being received.
Chris, in a word, skeptically. I just walked out of that committee meeting where they're grilling some of the experts who put together this report. The chair of the committee said from the start of the day today that there were lots of questions about that $1 billion price tag to modernize this building. Here's what that report said is wrong with it. That will cost $1 billion to repair. The list is a long one: plumbing, HVAC, fire suppression, issues with the roof, and ADA compliance. Plus, the report says there's asbestos throughout the walls in this building. The bottom line, one presenter said, many, if not all, of the building's systems are past their useful life. Another presenter had an alternative: move out. And he said the market conditions right now are ideal for the city to lease an office tower. Preservationists are skeptical.
I would really hate to believe that our Dallas government has already made a deal about Dallas City Hall. But what I will say is, hearing the head of the organization that is presenting this data encouraging leaving this space makes me feel like we're not having a serious conversation about the maintenance.
At the end of this meeting tonight, council members are set to decide whether to recommend the city manager explore leasing options. That's not a done deal yet, but look at what kinds of lease conditions the city might get if they move. Looming over all of this is the conversation about the Mavs, whether this site might be a possible new arena location. City officials still have not said anything about that. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Cole. It is a go. The newest college campus in North Texas is officially moving forward. The University of Texas System Board of Regents just approved funding for the first building at UTA West, a major milestone for the University of Texas at Arlington. The 51-acre campus in Parker County is expected to open in fall 2028, with the first building costing more than $94 million. School leaders say UTA West could generate more than $200 million in economic impact during its first year. I want to give you a live look at Seaside Heights, New Jersey. The area is blanketed in snow from what some are calling a once-in-a-lifetime storm. A major blizzard bringing fierce winds and dumping over 2 feet of snow in some parts of the Northeast. It's impacting several of the largest cities in the country, and that's causing a cascading effect on air travel. The airlines have canceled more than 10,000 flights so far, mostly in and out of New York City and Boston. New York City fully closed all of its public schools for the first time in 7 years.
My son was supposed to fly to New York. I think he had like a 6-something a.m. flight today.
Yeah.
And yesterday he said, Dad, they've canceled my flight.
Yeah.
And I said, really? He goes, yeah, they're talking about a blizzard. I said, no kidding, Peter.
Really?
I did not hear about that. So he goes, did you really? I'm like, well, I hope so. So yeah, I said, I'm glad you're not going. I mean, not that that was even an option.
Not that it was an option,
yeah. Maybe he goes tomorrow. And maybe if you're stuck here, if you're stuck here, stay here for a few days.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to show you some snowfall totals and some numbers, some wind speeds. Man, I am so glad that, and for all of the folks that have been complaining about the warm winter we've had, come on.
Take a look at that.
Take a look at this. Let me show you. Here, let's start with this. So these are the snow totals. This is since yesterday. This is East Providence, Rhode Island. 33.5 inches of snow since yesterday. And there's still a little bit more on the way. Babylon, New York, almost 30. Look at this next one. Carlstadt, New Jersey, almost 28 inches. I think that's Dighton, Massachusetts. I'm not sure. 27.1. And then I have one more. North Stonington, Connecticut. I mean, these are some crazy snowfall totals. I mean, and I've heard folks up in the Northeast say, boy, it's been so many years. It's been about 30 years since they've had snowfall or had a winter like they've had. And then the peak wind gusts. Look at this one. Chris. 84 miles an hour. One in Massachusetts, 83 miles an hour. Another one in Massachusetts, 82. Nantucket, 78. Stony Brook, New York, 74. So, you know, in order to have a blizzard, it's not just about that it's going to snow. It's the snow, and it's the wind speeds, and it's a duration of 3 hours or longer of 35 miles an hour or stronger, okay? They certainly met the blizzard conditions, and then, of course, you have to just have snow. So they've had whiteout conditions up there. And you can still see it snowing in parts of parts of the northeastern United States, anywhere from around Philly up to New York, and then up to Boston, then, of course, up in parts of Maine. Still, blizzard warnings are in effect for Boston all the way up to Portland, Maine, Bangor, Maine, right along the coast. Winter storm warnings a little more inland. And watch this. Here's 7 o'clock tonight. So the system finally pulls offshore as tonight moves along. But boy, what a wallop they had there in the Northeast over the last several days. And beautiful weather here. It was a gorgeous weekend. A little on the cool side, but it's February, for goodness sake. We hit 60 today. The morning low, another freeze. 32 degrees today. That was the morning low. That's 10 degrees warmer than 10 degrees colder than the normal low of 42, and we were 3 degrees cooler today. So hopefully you've enjoyed the little bit cooler than normal weather the last couple of days, because a big warm-up's on the way. 59 outside right now with a calm wind at this point at DFW. Mountain Cedars high, Elma's moderate, and Fungus today, that is low. My forecast tonight, it's a clear night tonight. It's a cold night tonight. Light winds and dry. 40 is the low tonight. During the day tomorrow, sunny day, a warmer day, a windy day. We hit 74 tomorrow. The next 14 days, 70s and 80s the rest of this week. Monday, 71. There we go. Now look at this. The final 7 of the 14 days. It's been a really dry winter. I have a little bit of rain next week. Oh, by the way, Tuesday's election day. Don't forget to vote. And if you don't vote, you can't complain. Right, Chris?
Right.
10%
I voted today.
That's right. 10%. I got a little rain, so a little unsettled weather pattern beginning the middle of next week, right through next weekend, and the time change as well. But 70s and 80s this week, and 70s next week, and finally several days with a little bit of spotty rain here or there.
All right, thank you, Pete. Now to your top consumer news, starting with a big drop on Wall Street. The stock market just suffered one of its worst declines this year. Investors don't like uncertainty, and that's what they're feeling right now when it comes to President Trump proposing new global tariffs. There's also new fear of disruption after Anthropic announced a new AI tool that automates tasks typically done by consulting firms. The Dow fell more than 800 points, and both the NASDAQ and S&P 500 declined. Eli Lilly just announced it's rolling out a new delivery option for its popular weight loss drug Zepbound. The FDA recently approved a more accessible, user-friendly option called the Quick Pen, a device that delivers a full month of weekly injections in one device, no syringes needed. Zepbound is approved to help adults manage obesity or those with weight-related medical conditions, but doctors say it shouldn't be used for cosmetic weight loss and only after a thorough medical exam.
You don't know if you have these conditions unless you get screened, and then talking to your insurance provider to see what you get covered. And then if you don't have, or if it's too expensive, you can then go to direct-to-consumer options looking for coupons.
Prices for a starter dose will start at $299 a month for patients who pay out of pocket. We just launched a new era on Daybreak as Dia Wall and Matt Howerton had their first morning together as our new anchor team. Here's a look behind the scenes as Dia, Matt, Greg, and Erica got ready for the big day.
Feels great. I'm Sprite. I'm caffeinated and ready to rock.
Good morning.
Present.
Happy day. How you beat me in here?
I don't know, man. I'm just ready to rock. Just ready to rock, dude.
How y'all doing?
So
That's great. Fun face.
Never seen Dia move so quickly down those stairs. Must be the fluffy house shoes. Be sure to start your day with Matt and Dia from 5 to 7 a.m. And you can keep watching Daybreak on our free streaming app WFAA Plus from 7 to 9. Now here's a look at what's coming up in 8 minutes on World News Tonight.
Tonight, the monster storm in the Northeast. Millions under blizzard warnings. More than 10,000 flights canceled. Also, the armed intruder and fatal shooting at Mar-a-Lago. Plus, after the blow to his tariffs, President Trump's new threat. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the #1 newscast in America.
We have more coverage coming up in 30 minutes, and Cynthia has a look at what our team's working on at 6.
Hi, Chris. It has been 10 years since Fort Worth police officer Matt Pierce was ambushed by a suspect, shot multiple times in the line of duty. Coming up, we sit down with Officer Pierce on his miraculous recovery, how he's feeling a decade later, and his love for his job. It is an interview you don't want to miss coming up at 6. And Commerce police say a woman planned to torch a local park with multiple Molotov cocktails, but officers stopped her just in time. Why officials believe this woman is also tied to a string of other fires in the area. Chris, I'm excited. We've got a big act coming to town this summer.
Yeah, that's right. Mumford & Sons is bringing its prize fighter tour to North Texas. Here you go. There they are. The band will play Dickies Arena on June 8th. Tickets go on sale online on February 25th. Mumford & Sons is also offering student price tickets to make the show more accessible. Those can be bought at the Dickies box office starting Friday. Talk about being in the right place at the right time. The Garland Fire Department says driver engineer Frank Simon was responding to a call this month when he dropped his phone into a storm drain. As he went in to retrieve it, he found 5 kittens living in that drain and was able to rescue them. Again, we got a lot coming up here after World News tonight, including we're going to dive back into that big decision facing the Dallas City Council in terms of City Hall. Mayor Eric Johnson just said that he imagines the new downtown as more of a neighborhood where people live, work, and play, and even said the idea of a central business district is now dead. We'll see you then.